There's the fucking flamethrower guy. Got him. Oh shit, he lit me up. No! In the wake of Modern Warfare's $600 million takeover, Battlefield 5 is pissed. So as of today, October 31st, 2019, Battlefield 5 has released a brand new expansion, I guess, or free DLC called War in the Pacific. Now what War in the Pacific is it's War in the Pacific. So what it is it's two maps. It's Pacific Storm and Iwo Jima, and these two maps are structured a little bit differently than the rest of the Battlefield 5 maps. And so far, guys, I've got about 2 hours of playtime in this new expansion. It's a free expansion, by the way, free DLC. So go ahead and download it, or just update your game if you still have it installed, and go ahead and jump in. So there's 4 new weapons at launch. There's the M1 Garand, which is, I mean, my favorite. I think it's a favorite for a lot of people. There's the Type 99, there's the Type 100, and then there's the M19 19A6. I haven't even gotten the chance to use that one yet. But in this War in the Pacific expansion, you either play as the US or Japan, and you go absolutely fucking bonkers. Now, seeing that it is a Battlefield game, there is some historical accuracy for this. Of course, the Battle of Iwo Jima was a huge battle where the U.S. Marines and the Navy landed, and eventually, after a lot of fighting and a lot of, perish, captured the island of Iwo Jima from the Imperial Japanese Army back in WWII. So they're trying to capture that historical accuracy, another, beach landing and that kind of thing. And here's the thing, guys, is I'm pleasantly surprised at how much fun I had with this new expansion pack. Listen to me, expansion pack. Who calls it an expansion pack in 2019? Old people. Anyways, the biggest gripe that most players had with Battlefield 5 was the historical, I guess you could say, gender swapping that they did in their marketing campaign. Now, it was a pretty huge deal. EA, DICE, their conclusion was, hey, if you don't like it, don't buy it. If you don't like women on the battlefield, don't buy it. Now, obviously, there were women in combat in World War II. However, there weren't many in active combat. They actually played different roles like medics. They worked in the factories, making bullets, making tank rounds and whatnot. So a lot of people felt like they did a disservice to the women who actually served during those times and actually, not only fought in the battle, which there weren't a whole lot of them, but for the ones who worked in the factories, making bullets and bombs, getting bombarded every other day, and you don't know when it's coming. You just got to continue on with your job while, there's bombs dropping on the factory. People who worked, the women who worked in the hospitals, who were tending to the wounded soldiers, and were petrified at the fact that they could be bombed any minute by enemy bombers. So naturally, the fans didn't react well. A lot of people took it to the extreme, and EA's response was, don't like it, don't buy it. So what did people do? They didn't buy it. Got him! In an earnings call, EA claimed that and stated that the game didn't sell very well. It sold very far below expectations. The player count is low. The match queues are very, very long. So it didn't do them a service, I guess you could say. So, fast forward to October 31st, 2019. If you go on Battlefield 5's website, you see all of the coverage of this new expansion, War of the Pacific. There is all male characters on the website. And if you go through the video, the release trailer, the launch trailer for this War of the Pacific expansion pack, here we go again. You'll see that there wasn't a single female soldier in sight. So it looks like EA is on this huge apology tour, especially in the wake of the tyrant that is Modern Warfare coming in and just smashing all sorts of records. It's the highest selling Call of Duty game of all time. Battlefield 5 is struggling. They're struggling to keep their head above water, so to speak. So they need to make some moves. So the moves that they're making is it looks like they are taking a step back. If you think about it, they're on a huge apology tour not only with this, but they also signed a deal with Steam to where they're releasing all of their EA's games onto Steam going forward, starting with Jedi Fallen Order, and then they're going to go back and re-release, Battlefield 5 and every other game in their catalog on Steam over time. So it looks like EA's kind of taken a massive hit because of the player reactions to their, not only their business practices, but Battlefield 5. And so they've started their apology tour. Now, Battlefield 5 War in the Pacific is a very, very, very welcome addition to this apology tour, I will say. After a couple of hours with it, I am having an absolute blast. It feels like Battlefield again, guys. It feels like Battlefield got its bearings again. It may be a little too late, and it's not quite up to par for like Battlefield 4 or even Battlefield 2, but it's getting there. There's more tanks active. I mean, there's shit going on all the time on the battlefield. It's never a dull moment. The other maps in the game were just kind of, it went Call of Duty, guys. It just went straight Call of Duty. It was a pew-pew fest, running around in buildings, people hiding out and sniping. There wasn't any, there's like 1 or 2 tanks per team that you can get. It just wasn't Battlefield. It was Call of Duty. Now, us longtime Battlefield fans, if you're a longtime Battlefield fan, leave a comment, leave a like, let me know what you think about Battlefield 5 and this new expansion if you're playing it. But for us longtime Battlefield fans, we longed for those bigger maps, the longer terrains that you can run on. You know, the ones where you can really set up shop and really try to figure out your next move. And Iwo Jima and Pacific Storm, these maps are a step in the right direction. Now, they're not quite perfect. They obviously they're a little small for a Battlefield map that we're used to, but they're in more of the line of Battlefield 4. And what Battlefield had right all along, especially in Battlefield 4, was the large-scale warfare. The tanks, the multiple different vehicles and APCs and Jeeps and different planes. And it feels like Battlefield's bringing that back with this War in the Pacific edition. It felt way more chaotic. It felt like there was a lot more going on. The fighting was more streamlined rather than arena style like in the previous Battlefield 5 maps. So it felt more like Battlefield again. It felt like I felt like I was home, or I was at least getting close to home. So check it out, guys. The War in the Pacific. It's a free update. I mean, jump back into it, see where you're at. But it was a nice change from Modern Warfare. I've been going balls deep. I'm probably 50+ hours in that game already. I've already beat the campaign, level 50 in multiplayer. So it was nice going back and feeling what Battlefield used to be like. Now, I'm not going to say it's going to take Modern Warfare over, but it's nice to go back to that. Feel that Battlefield style where it's the large-scale warfare with all of the tanks and all of the airplanes, and it was just absolutely crazy. And Modern Warfare's Ground War does a decent job of that, but it just doesn't have that feel that Battlefield does, that large-scale warfare feel. And so it was nice to feel that again. But check it out, guys. It's a free update. Like I said, if you guys play it and you enjoy it, leave a comment. I was on a live stream the other day. Feel free to check out my Twitch link below. I'm streaming all the time. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you guys on the next episode of Talk Gaming. Oh!